Hello everyone, back tuning in today's second video of Read and Rain Watching. I'm out here on the home page, just scroll down page a little bit, it's above the pollen count. So we're in for a lot of wet weather in the east and the southeast over the next 24 to 36 hours. There is going to be some very wet weather indeed, and I'll let you have a look at Rain Watch and see what you think about that. This video is going to look at weather next week to 10 days. We'll also have a look at the CFSV2 for next month. That takes us into the start of September, so quite a lot to cram in. But I'll just start with the radar picture from the Weather Outlook. You can find the link to the Weather Outlook on the links page. This is the latest. This band of heavy rain has been so slow moving through parts of eastern England, particularly sort of Yorkshire, Lincolnshire, and then down into the central and eastern part of the Midlands. Just persistent rain, been on for many, many hours. Where I am, we're closing in very much on 40 millimetres of rain now, just from the sheer persistence of this rain that's been on for many, many hours. On the western side of it, we've got sunshine and showers through Wales and South West England. Some of those are quite heavy. And increasingly now, some heavy thundery showers breaking out across parts of East Anglia and South East England. In fact, if we have a look at the lightning detector, you can see that we've got two clusters of lightning. One here close to Cambridge and going down towards parts of Essex. And then we head over towards East Anglia. We find another cluster of thunderstorms moving in towards parts of Norfolk and Suffolk. And those heavy showers are probably going to increase through the course of this afternoon in this southeast corner. So I expect some localised flooding there from torrential rain. And this area of showery rain, or this area of persistent rain, which will probably turn a little bit more showery through this afternoon and this evening, will continue through this central sway of the country. And overnight tonight, it's all going to pep up again overnight tonight into tomorrow as more pulses of rain head in from off the North Sea. Check out Rain Watch for more on today's wet weather. Now, we finally had an update from Hadley in terms of July's central England temperature. We've been waiting for this to come in for quite a while. So July CET is now confirmed at 16.8 degrees Celsius, which is a warmer than average month. It's 0.7 degrees above average. Not that far above where it was in June, however. June CET came out at a very warm 16.0, which is 2 degrees, nearly 2 degrees above average. So you see what's happening here with August provisionally at 15.8, which actually ever so slightly under average. You see what's happening here. The anomalies are decreasing month by month through this summer. So this is looking like a very, very classic front-loaded summer now. What we mean by front-loaded summer is that the early part of the summer, the front part of the summer, is the period that gets all of the summer weather. So June and into, if you remember it, into the first week of July, that's when we tend to see the hot and dry conditions. A deterioration taking place through the course of July, and so we enter August, which turns very unsettled, dare I say it, autumnal. These front-loaded summers, they are sort of common-ish. We had one in 2014. Before that, we had one in 2010. We had one in 1992 as well. I have to have a look at more years that had them. If you was watching the updates that we did leading up to summer, you'll know one of the years that was cropping up very regularly in terms of our analogues package. I'm completely off on a tangent with all of this, sorry about that, but I think it's quite interesting that one of the years through our summer updates that was cropping up very, very regularly with the analogues package was 1957, and that also was very much a front-loaded summer with a really warm June, followed by a deterioration through July, finishing up with a very poor August. So, and I kind of discounted 1957 a little bit because it was so far back. I thought 1997, which was another year that's cropping up very regularly, and that had a hot August. And I thought 1997 was probably a better sort of analogue in terms of being more modern. But actually, it seems that in some ways, although this has been very different in its overall pattern to 1957, it appears that in some ways, with at least the idea of a front-loaded summer 1957 might have been the one to go with. Of course, we will discuss all this much more when we come to verify the summer forecast and see what has happened. But this, as I say, it is looking like a very, very classic front-loaded summer. We'll continue to monitor the central England temperature, of course. Now, moving on to the weather going forward. So these are the GFS ensembles for the next couple of weeks. This is for Northampton. I thought I'd have a look at the ensemble for Northampton, very close to where I am. The latest version of weathercentral.de, you can get ensemble charts for pretty much any town you want. So you can go to weathercentral.de and get to the link on the links page, and you can see the ensemble for the town that is closest to you. Pretty much everywhere now is included within these ensembles. I say this is the one that's closest to me, Northampton. So we find the red line here, same idea of course with the ensembles that we always look at. That's the 30-year upper air temperature average. This is where we are right now, cooler than average. It's atrocious day. Actually, it's not that much cooler than average down to the upper air temperatures, but on the surface, it really is a very cool day today under this persistent rain, with temperatures struggling to get to 13, 14, 15 degrees. Absolutely atrocious temperatures for early August, which should on average be the hottest part of the year. So we're calling an average at the moment. We're going to go a little bit warmer at the end of the week, but then cooling down again over the weekend. And you can see really just continuing very close to average, maybe even generally on the cooler than average side, running out into the second half of August. That's second half of August. Just there. So a few days ago we had an idea with the models that we might get bit of a warm-up as we head up towards the middle part of the month. That has been eradicated by the GFS, and it looks like temperatures are continuing to be very, very disappointing. Precipitation-wise, that's also looking pretty dodgy as well. So all these spikes just here, the rainfall we've got today and tomorrow, going to be lots of wet weather in the next 24 to 36 hours. Check out Rain Watch of that. Then it looked like we were going to get a drier slot there for a few days at the end of the week into weekend, at the start of next week. I think we do get a little bit drier through that period, especially further south of the east, but not completely dry. Even then, there's some rainfall spikes showing up. And then around the middle of August onwards, that's that period just there, where it looks like the rainfall just comes back. So this is looking like a very unsettled August now. Highly likely, especially with today and tomorrow's deluge, that eastern and southeast parts of the country will have above average rainfall. I suspect many parts of the country are going to come out with above average rainfall for this August. Really is looking a very poor summer month, I have to say, at the moment. We'll have a look at the surface temperatures and also at the pressure next. So this again is the ensemble for Northampton. This is where we're starting at the moment for the surface temperature, very close to 15 degrees, which is something like, I would have thought that's something like 7 or 8 degrees below average really for eastern England at the early part of August. I would have thought temperatures around now should be around 22 or 23 degrees. So we are very, very cool with the temperatures. Or to put it another way, if we was to have this kind of deviation in the middle of winter in January, we would be looking at maximum temperatures probably of around -4 or -3 degrees today. So it really is a very cool day compared to the average for this time of year. Now, we can't keep this sort of level of coolness going too long, so we go through to the end of the week and we do find the temperatures lifting back close to 20 degrees, which is still a bit below par, really. Slightly warmer just there. Looks like we're going above 20 degrees just then, but then after that we're back down to and under 20 degrees pretty much to the end of the ensemble. So it looks generally quite cool really for the days ahead. This is how pressure is looking as well for Northampton. So it's starting off with low pressure just there, gradually lifting the pressure up a little bit in the coming days, but only for a day or two. That's a transient ridge just there, and then lowering the pressure again just there. Another little transient ridge coming through there. and then quite a substantial, significant drop in pressure into the second half of the month. That's that period just there. And it does tell us that overall the pattern is looking very, very unsettled here. The temperature anomaly, that's looking really poor. This is from the 8th through to the 16th of August. It's coming out cooler than average. I think we may well be on course now for our first colder or cooler than average year of 2017. In some way similar to what happened in 2014, which was very warm up to August, and then we threw in a cooler than average month. Didn't stop the overall year of 2014 being the warmest year on record, so we may still get warmest year on record, but I think we are getting increasingly towards a stage where we've got to take seriously the prospect of August anyway, coming out cooler than average. For precipitation, so it's a little bit drier in the west for the week ahead, a little bit drier than average there, but in the south and southeast, really is looking very wet from the 8th through to the 16th of August. So this is the GFS, and we'll just pull out a little bit. This is the latest from the GFS. This is the midnight run. So we find, again, we've got low pressure coming in from the northwest of Scotland, bringing showery bursts of rain on Saturday. Sunday, a slight transient ridge outlasting into Monday too, but Tuesday brings another low pressure in from the north and the west. That could take more general cloud and rain southwards and eastwards across the country. Then the ridge builds back a little bit. Overall, this is a slightly drier phase here. So for in the next week, it does turn a little bit drier, albeit still rather changeable. But by the time we run up towards day 10, and this takes us to day 10, well, look at that, low pressure's back in big time across the country, especially in the south. It turns very wet and unsettled in the second half of next week. ECMWF very similar, so Saturday looks showery, Sunday probably a bit of a transient ridge building, so it could be a little bit better on Sunday. That dry weather might last into Monday. Then Tuesday next week turns more showery, interrupts the slightly drier phase. Then a little bit of a ridge building back for Wednesday, lifting the pressure slightly. But by Thursday into Friday, again, same idea, low pressure is taking over. In fact, this does it much more so compared to the GFS. That looks really unsettled, and dare I say it, autumnal by day 10, which is Friday the 18th of August. That's very, very unsettled as well. Look how the jet stream also is really digging down. The jet stream coming down from Greenland, going like that. That really is very, very poor for the 18th of August. So yes, it does turn a little bit drier, slightly warmer for the early part of next week, although not completely dry. Tuesday could still be quite showery, but overall a little bit drier early next week. But by the second half of next week, back to very unsettled conditions. Finally, just have a look at the charts for from the CFS V2 for the next month. These are 500 with our heights broken down into 10-day periods. The first 10-day period taking us from the 8th to the 14th of August. Looks unsettled. We've got a big trough up to our north and elongating through the UK and Western Europe. A ridge out to the west and over in the east and southeast of Europe. We're doing something like that with the jet stream. So on the cool side of the jet, and we're in an unsettled pattern. Week 2 is also looking unsettled. This is the 15th to 21st of August. Big trough out to the north and west. There is a ridge down to the south from the Azores, but it's not doing much for us. We're bringing the jet stream through the country like that. That one also looking very unsettled into the second half of August. We run to the final week of August, but we do start to see signs of a change here. This is from the 22nd to 28th of August, and heights are beginning to rise to our south and to our east. We're starting to block out this low pressure in the Atlantic. We're doing something like that with the jet stream. That's an improving situation there as we're running into the final week of August. That will be turning warmer and drier. So maybe a cooler than average August isn't nailed on just yet. And then look at this. We get to the 29th of August to the 4th of September, which is week 4. It's a long way out. But high pressure is back then as we end August and go into September. High pressure's back. We've got the wind coming in from the east. No doubt a very warm wind coming in from the east, dragging the air up from the continent. So, again, same idea as we get time after time. It seems generally unsettled for August, but we get to September and pressure rises, summer returns as we move into the start of autumn. Now, that's a long way out. It's 4 weeks away, so it really is in the realm of speculation. But it is kind of like the theme that we tend to get very regularly in this country, especially, it seems, over the last 20 years, which is for unsettled and predominantly cool August, and then summer just hangs on and on and on as you get into September. We'll wait and see whether that verifies. In the next week to 10 days, it's unsettled, obviously very wet at the moment. Then we get this slightly drier interlude over weekend into next week. Won't be completely dry even then, and by the end of next week, it looks like we go back to something very, very unsettled indeed. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.